How to produce beer in factory of Nepal. Scene: the Himalayan brewery, a modern facility in the Terai. The setting is a sprawling, modern industrial facility on the outskirts of Burgunj or Barahawa. The air is a mix of humidity, the faint, sweet smell of grain, and the crisp aroma of hops. The sounds of clinking glass, humming machinery, and hissing steam create a symphony of industry. Workers in clean uniforms and safety gear move with purpose. The step-by-step factory process. Step 1. Raw material receiving and quality control scene. Large trucks, some from India, some from local Nepali farms, are backed into a receiving bay. Bags of malted barley, mostly imported, sacks of rice or corn, often locally sourced as adjuncts, and bales of hops imported from the US, Germany, or the Czech Republic are being unloaded. Process 1. Malt analysis. Samples of malted barley are taken to the in-house lab. Technicians check for moisture content, protein levels, and enzymatic power. 2. Hop inspection. Hops are checked for alpha acid content, for bitterness and aroma quality. 3. Water treatment. Nepali water is used, but it must be treated. The water is analyzed and then adjusted in a treatment plant to mimic the mineral profile of classic beer styles, for example, the soft water of Pilsen for a lager. Chlorine is removed, and specific minerals like calcium may be added. Nepali context. Sourcing high-quality brewing barley within Nepal is a challenge, so most is imported. However, the use of local rice to make beers like Everest Lager is a key feature of the Nepali beer industry. Step 2. Milling and mashing scene. Inside the brewhouse, the air is warm and humid. A powerful mill crushes the malted barley into a coarse powder called grist. The grist is then conveyed into a giant, shiny stainless steel vessel called a mash tun. Process 1. Milling. The malt is crushed to break open the kernels, exposing the starch inside while keeping the husks relatively intact. 2. Mashing. The grist is mixed with hot water around P-72 degrees Celsius in the mash tun. This creates a porridge-like mixture. Natural enzymes from the malt convert the starches into fermentable sugars. This process takes about 1 to 2 hours. The sweet liquid produced is now called wort, pronounced wort. Nepali context. The recipe for the mash bill, the mix of malts and adjuncts, is a closely guarded secret for each brand, giving Gorkha, Everest, and Tuborg their distinct base flavors. Step 3. Lautering and wort boiling scene. The mash is transferred to a lauter tun, a vessel with a false bottom. Next door, the massive brew kettle roars to life. Process 1. Lautering. The liquid wort is drained from the solid grain husks. Hot water is sprayed over the grain bed to rinse out all the remaining sugars. The spent grains are then removed and often sold as nutritious animal feed to local farmers. 2. Boiling. The clear wort is pumped into the brew kettle and boiled vigorously for 60 to 90 minutes. Hops addition. Hops are added at different stages during the boil. Bittering hops are added early and aroma hops are added late. Sterilization. The boil sterilizes the wort and halts any further enzymatic activity. Step 4. Whirlpool and wort cooling scene. After the boil, the hot hopped wort is pumped at a high velocity into a circular tank called a whirlpool. Process 1. Whirlpooling. The centrifugal force causes solid particles like hop residues and coagulated proteins to form a cone in the center of the tank, leaving a clear wort. 2. Cooling. The clear wort is then pumped through a heat exchanger. In one set of pipes, the hot wort flows. In the other, cold refrigerated water flows in the opposite direction. Within minutes, the wort is cooled from near boiling to a fermentation temperature around 10 degrees Celsius for lagers, 20 degrees Celsius for ales. The now hot water is saved for use in the next brew. Step 5. Fermentation scene. The cooled wort enters the most critical area, the fermentation hall. It's a vast, clean and temperature-controlled room filled with enormous, towering cylindrical stainless steel tanks. Process 1. Aeration and pitching. The wort is injected with sterile oxygen, which is essential for yeast health. A specific strain of brewer's yeast, Saccharomyces pastorianus for lagers, Saccharomyces cerevisiae for ales, is added pitched into the wort. 2. Primary fermentation. For the next 5 to 7 days ales, or 7 to 10 days lagers. The yeast voraciously consumes the sugars, producing alcohol and carbon dioxide CO. The tanks are kept at a precise cooled temperature. The process is violent at first, then slowly calms down. Process Nepali context. Most mass-produced beers in Nepal are lagers, which require colder temperatures and longer fermentation times. This hall is the heart of the brewery, where the final alcohol content is determined. Step 6. Maturation and lagering scene. After primary fermentation, the green beer is sometimes transferred to another set of tanks for maturation. Process 1. Conditioning. The beer is cooled to near freezing temperatures. It rests here for several weeks. This allows harsh flavors to mellow, yeast to settle out, and the beer to become clear and smooth. 2. Carbonation. The CO produced during fermentation is often captured, cleaned, and then re-injected into the beer to achieve the perfect level of carbonation. Step 7. Filtration and packaging scene. This is the busiest, noisiest part of the factory. The beer flows through a final filter to achieve crystal clarity. It then races through stainless steel pipes to the packaging lines. Process 1. Bottling line. Empty bottles, returnable, and new clatter along a conveyor belt. They are inverted and cleaned with high-pressure jets, filled with beer capped. Pasteurized, heated to kill any remaining yeast, microbes, labeled, and packed into crates. 2. Canning line. A similar high-speed process for cans. 3. Kegging. For draft beer, large stainless steel kegs are cleaned and filled for distribution to bars and restaurants. Nepali context. The sight of iconic bottles of Gorkha or Everest moving at lightning speed thousands per hour is a testament to modern Nepali manufacturing. Step 8. Quality assurance and distribution scene. The final stop is the warehouse, a cavernous space stacked high with crates of finished beer. It's cool and bustling with forklifts. Process 1. Lab testing. From every batch, samples are taken to the lab. Experts and sophisticated machines test for alcohol content, bitterness, clarity, and flavor profile. They also perform taste tests, sensory analysis. 2. Distribution. Once approved, the crates are loaded onto refrigerated trucks. These trucks fan out across Nepal, navigating the winding highways up to the hills and mountains to supply every corner of the country, from the bustling bars of Tamil to the local botties in remote villages. The journey that started with raw grain and hops is now complete, ready to be enjoyed as a crisp, refreshing beer at the end of a long day or during a Nepali festival.